Okay, so I'm gonna go see Uncharted legit in like a couple of minutes, like not that far. My ticket is at 8 o'clock and it's 6:40 right now. But then, you know, like I kind of lag with preparing stuff, but whatever. That's not the point of this video, me telling me my whole routine of when I go out or whatever. But the first thing that I do want to mention before watching the movie is that very low expectations for this movie. Like very low. Like if it that playing the role was a mistake, and if he's saying that this isn't the move, then that concerns me. I love Uncharted. I really want it to do good. I'm gonna say this a bunch of times in this video. I want it to do good. I really want it to do good. I won't be surprised. I already set the bar low, but like if for some reason it extends that bar even lower, then I will tell you guys, because you guys will know by the thumbnail or the title. But second is that I hope they do the characters justice. I hope that Tom Holland actually does play Drake correctly, or like good or semi good, and for them to do it before all the games and stuff, and they're getting inspiration from all 4 games, and then they're putting it into a movie, and this is supposed to be like a prequel to the games. I know it's not a prequel to the games, but still, like that's kind of how they're marketing it. But as I was preparing to make this video, I was watching a video of Jacksepticeye. I was watching an interview that he did with Tom Holland, and Tom Holland was mentioning stuff that like, oh yeah, I did all the stunts myself. I'm pretty sure there was like stunt doubles involved, but he's like, oh, this is so much different than Spider-Man. Spider-Man is like more CG, and then this one was kind of more like I had to be the one doing the things. There was no one to help me out. I feel like they're going to be getting a lot of inspiration from the 4th game, just because that's what everybody knows from Uncharted. Because that was like the game that the PS4 came out with. Like right now, PS5, it is Ghost of Tsushima or something like that. I don't know. And Ratchet and Clank and Miles Morales. Uncharted was one of those games that came out on PS4. It was like one of those like starter bundle games. And that's where everyone kind of knows Uncharted. I feel like Uncharted probably blew up from the 4th game. I know it was it was really good for the rest, but that the PS4 coming out and with all the enhanced graphics and all that, and for someone to get that as a bundle, I feel like that's where Uncharted really blew up. So I feel like they're gonna be getting a lot of ideas from the 4th game, just because they do mention Sam, and they do mention that one ship scene where he's looking off like into the distance when he's like in a cove or whatever, or in a cave. If it's not getting inspiration from the 4th game, I will be like, wow. I know they do mention the third game, just because of that airplane sequence where like he's falling off the thing. The whole thing is going. I feel like the whole movie is gonna be mostly focused on, oh, where is Sam? Or like, you know about Sam, maybe we can find him, or maybe when he comes along the treasure, Sam is also looking for the treasure and they come across each other. I don't know. This video will be all over the place, because I was originally just gonna do a before thoughts and after, but then while I was looking for soundtracks for the score behind, because I was thinking, oh, it's Uncharted, let me get some like scores from the game. When I heard one, I was like, I changed my whole opinion on how I was gonna write this video. So this video might be all over the place in the beginning. Right now I will give my full thoughts on after the movie, because that was before, and I was very wrong about this movie. I went in there saying way before, this movie's gonna flop, this movie's gonna do bad, and when I went in there, I was actually surprised of how good the movie was. Shout out to my friend Patrick. I was talking to him on Instagram, and he was telling me that he's seen the movie plot 100 times, or like National Treasure, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. Yeah, the plot is written like every other like treasure hunting movie, but I wasn't really looking at it as at the movie from that standpoint, because I already knew it was gonna follow the game storyline. He's gonna look for treasure, he'll never be able to get it, it's always gonna end up like sunk or something, or hidden or buried or something like that. I always knew that was gonna always happen, because that's how it is in the games. The story wasn't really my main like, I didn't really care for the story, because I already knew the objective of the story. But the thing I went in there for was how good were they gonna write the characters. I was thinking when I went in there, I was like, okay, let me see how they're gonna interact with each other. Like, is Sully and Nate gonna be like a good combo? Is it gonna be like how I see it on the game? And then in the beginning it was kind of weird for me, because I didn't really like it. But then after a while, like as I kept going throughout the movie, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, how would they act compared to their video game counterparts? And while I was watching certain scenes, especially with like, underwater, he's like, hey, like help us. I'm not gonna get too much into spoilers, but I'm just gonna mention little things, stuff here and there I liked about the movie. Help us. And then he's like, oh, I don't know where to look, and he finds it. It's like that to me. That seems kind of like a thing in the games. It's like, okay, you don't know where to look, and then randomly there's just something on the wall, and you're like, oh, okay, like I guess it fits, and then you put it, and it's like, oh wow, it works. But you don't question it because it's a video game. In the movies, it's like, okay, like it kind of makes sense, but they didn't make it like too dumb where it's like in the games where it's like, okay, there's like a dusty wall, it's like, okay, it's over there. No, they made it seem like they made it so natural, like, oh, it was behind this like glass wall, like if it was part of like a art thing, like art piece. I was like, okay, that seems pretty normal or whatever. Especially when they were in that bar scene, there was this one place where they have to put the key in. I was like, okay, like they're just using an old building, and they're just using keys or whatever just to put it in. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Like I wasn't really like, okay, whatever, like that's not a big deal, kind of fit the thing. And then the whole Chloe and Nate thing, I kind of felt like it was a little off at first. I was like, okay, in the last video that I made about Uncharted, I was like, okay, I don't like Chloe, it's gonna feel weird. And they kind of made it exactly how she is in the games. Like in the game, you can't really trust her because like there's always that side to her. You're like, okay, like she's cool, but you don't want to piss her off because she could do something. And I did say that in the last. I knew that she was okay. I'm thinking it from a video game perspective, but if I never had any like influence or any idea of what Uncharted was, you can tell that Chloe was eventually gonna backstab because how much he kept saying that Sully is a bad guy, and then Sully was like, you can't trust her, and I was like, okay. So yeah, so Chloe was really well written. Like I was surprised. And that new character, I don't know, I haven't played Uncharted, the one after the fourth one. I think it was a Thief's Legacy or something. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one with Chloe and the other girl. I forgot the other girl's name, but that new girl that was introduced in the movie, she gave me Nadine vibes. I feel like she was like the Nadine for the movie. Like they didn't call her Nadine, they called her something else. I don't know what they called her, but she was giving me the Nadine vibes. Like she had like her own little private military, and it's kind of like how Nadine was. She had her own military helping out. I forgot the name of the guy from the fourth game. I really forgot. But I know it was with Shoreline. There you go. I remember she had Shoreline under her control, and this one they don't really say what her military thing was, but she gave me a whole like Nadine vibes, like she was the Nadine of the movie. Does it stand well as a standalone Uncharted movie? I think it does. Like especially towards the end, especially that end credit scene. There is two of them. The first one I'm not gonna get too much into, but the second one is worth staying for. Like it's not that far into like thing. It's like maybe like a minute or two after the first one. But another thing I did forget to mention was that there was a Naughty Dog reference inside one of the scenes where he opens up a briefcase and the Naughty Dog sticker was there. I heard a couple people clapping when I saw that, and I think that's something that was very subtle, but you have to be paying close attention for that. The second one, I was like, okay, this is Uncharted. Like I feel like I was getting into the game territory, especially when I saw that mustache. I was like, okay, we're getting there. Yeah, I think the movies do a good job of standing alone on their own. Like after leaving the movie, I was like, okay, like I can watch another movie of that. I can watch a second movie if they were to make it, but I wouldn't have a problem with it because I actually enjoyed the movie, so I didn't see any problems with it. And they did not. Okay, I was saying in the beginning that they might get inspiration from the fourth game, a lot of inspiration, and I was kind of right on that part where they were getting a lot of inspiration. Like Nadine and her Shoreline gang or whatever, they did get inspiration from there. And then Sam, especially in the intro when you see the orphanage part, I was like, okay, like I'm playing Uncharted 4, they're getting stuff from Uncharted 4. And then they didn't really mention stuff. And okay, speaking of other games, Nolan North, his cameo was so subtle, I almost forgot about it. Like I was saying, I was watching a video with Jacksepticeye, and Tom Holland's like, oh yeah, I did a scene with him.
Okay. As Nolan North.
Nice.
Have you met Nolan?
I have, yeah. We actually shot a scene together in the movie.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me because I really wanted his approval, you know, because he created this character and brought him to life, and, you know, he's sort of passing on the baton.
And then when I went into the movie, I was like, okay, when is he going to meet up with Nolan North? And then eventually when he came up on the... Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit into spoiler territory here, so skip maybe like a couple seconds if you don't want to hear it. Spoiler territory now, but when he comes out from the beach with Chloe, and then some guy comes up, like he's just sitting in the chair. First I thought it was Sully, because Sully he parachuted way before everyone else. So I was like, okay, he's probably just chilling at the beach or waiting for them or whatever, or he found something, I don't know. But then it didn't look like Sully. I was like, okay, is this the cameo? Like, I was like, okay, it can't be him. And then I was like, okay, is he gonna do the voice of Drake, or is Nolan North gonna speak in his own voice? When he's like, oh, what happened to you guys? He's like, oh, I fell out of a plane. Oh, it's not my first. I was also thrown out of a plane. And then I was like, I was still focusing. I'm like, when is Nolan North gonna come out? And I haven't seen a picture of Nolan North since BO3 ended, so I kind of forgot how he looked like, because that was like back in 2017, I think, like a long time ago. Once I heard he was doing the Drake voice, and when he said it's not the first time I got thrown out of a plane, I was like, wait, I was like, yo, hold up, yo, okay, that's a call out to Uncharted 3. I was like, okay, he's calling out Uncharted 3 when he got thrown out of the plane in the video game. I was like, okay, that didn't know. I was constantly looking. I was like, okay, is he gonna do the Drake voice? Like, I was like, okay, is he gonna dress up like Drake? How's he gonna do it? But no, it was so subtle that he was just laying down in normal, like, tourist by the beach. I was like, okay. After the scene ended, I was like, oh my god, how did I almost miss that? I was like, how did I almost forget that? But besides that, I feel like the characters were well written, and as well as I'm praising this part, I will bring my cons that I have with the movie. And one of them is that Drake never shoots a gun. Like, he never shoots a gun. Tom Holland said in the Jacksepticeye video, I'll play it right now.
We didn't want him to just be this kind of ruthless killer, because I do sometimes think in the video game, it's like, did that guy really need to die?
Yeah, he had a
for
family.
The treasure?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that gets brought up with the games a lot as well, that he's kind of just killing people and making jokes about it, but it's a video game.
Like he said, that they didn't want to make Drake look like just a killer, and in the video games it's just like, okay, he's just in the way, and if he's shooting at me, I kind of have to go through him in order to get to the treasure. But in the movie, I kind of like the way they kind of went about it, but they could have just, like, they didn't really do too much. I don't mind, because it was PG-13, but I don't mind, like, maybe they could have gotten maybe like a kill or two in there. But besides that, he was mostly like just like using stuff around him. Like, if there was a chair, he'll punch, like he'll throw it, or like something like that, like a sword. Like, he picked up a sword at one point, was like just swinging it around, but he never hurt any. I don't really mind that he didn't kill anyone, but it's just like, he never used a gun, and that's kind of like that's a Drake stamp. And at one point I was hoping other people would clap as well. My theater was pretty quiet. There was probably like 2 kids that were like off into the distance that were clapping, because they knew stuff that I knew too. I was like, okay, they're probably Uncharted fans, because I see you guys, because when I heard a certain score come up from Uncharted, I think it was the Uncharted 3 Drake theme, because they are different themes. Like, the Drake 3 theme is way different from the Drake 4 theme. I heard those kids clapping, and I was like, okay, I see you guys over there, I see you, like, I see my boys over there. But there was one scene where he did put the vest on with the white shirt and the ring. He put the vest on, and then some guy was gonna shoot him, and he grabs the gun for a bit, and then he holds it, and then the score comes up. I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, like, we're like that, like that's the money shot right there. Besides that, he didn't even shoot the gun. Like, I think he didn't even use it. I think he like hit someone with it and then threw it away. But besides that, it was just like, okay, you had a gun, bunch of people coming at you, they were coming onto the ship, he was just there, like, just holding it. I was like, okay, are you gonna use it, or are you gonna not? And he didn't end up using it, but I don't really know mine, because it was PG-13. I'm actually excited for the second movie. I was like, okay, like, the first one is like, okay, it's I was a little whatever in the beginning, but then as the movie progressed, I was like, okay, like, they wrote the characters well, they interact so well. So I was like, okay, like, they're doing something here. Like, the plot, I was like, okay, this is some like Uncharted thing. But the only thing that I didn't think they were gonna do was pick up the ships. Like, I was like, okay, that happened. Like, I don't know how it's still like holding. I don't know how the wood is not breaking apart. But I'm actually excited for the second movie. Like, I really want to see the second movie. Surprisingly, like, I haven't seen reviews about what other people think, because I was originally gonna do that so I can get more information about like how they wrote the characters. But then as I was talking to my friend Patrick, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use my thoughts only, and what I think about the movie, because I generally do like this movie. It could change over time, but the only thing that I was seeing from the movie was how well are the characters written, how well do they interact. That's the only way I was seeing it. But the story, I actually liked the story. The story was okay. It wasn't like anything too crazy. But besides that, that's my overall thoughts on the movie. And yeah. Okay, this outro is from the past me before I went to the movie. So I will be doing an after review of the movie. But that would be a separate video on its own. I would just be giving my basic like, wow, this blew me out. I was wrong about this. I was right about this and that. Besides that, you guys already know what to do. Like the video. Liking the video lets me know you want to see me do more of these types of reactions or thoughts and stuff before a movie comes out. Like, what's the upcoming movie? Buzz Lightyear. Like Buzz Lightyear, for example. If I were to give my predictions and thoughts on it before going in and then going after, or do you want me to make it separate? 2 separate videos, one before and then one after. How do you guys like it? Do you want it before or do you want it after and together in one video? But I don't know, it's up to you guys. But you guys already know what to do. Liking the video lets me know you want to see me continue doing reactions like this or giving my thoughts out, and subscribing lets me know you enjoy the content. So much for watching. I've been Alex, and I'll see you guys in the outlines.